Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. High drama in the Daniel Dubois vs Kevin Lerena fight. Daniel Dubois down multiple times, partly due to an injury, and also Kevin Lerena stopped in somewhat controversial circumstances. And the referee, Howard Foster, he is known to have been involved in a few in the past, Carl Froch and George Groves being among them. So what I'll do is I'll get to the ending and then we'll work our way backwards. Remembering Daniel Dubois was very lucky in this fight to actually get through this and get the stoppage. He was wailing away on Kevin Lerena right near the end of the third round. And I've gone back and I've watched the replays of that final 13 seconds or so about a dozen times already. So what you had was at the clackers going for the final 10 seconds, Daniel Dubois unloading on Lerena, who he dropped earlier in the round. He was on him. He was landing shots. Not all of them were coming in clean. There was actually, at the point where the commentator said Lerena's throwing nothing back, he did throw a left hook that seemingly did wobble and back up Daniel Dubois momentarily, but Dubois kept swinging, landed some big shots, including a huge uppercut. The bell goes, another shot comes in, and that clearly affects Kevin Lerena, but Dubois was in the act of throwing it as, you know, the bell was about to ring, and it rung, and he got hit with it. This is Lerena, and then Dubois throws another shot, which seemingly just grazes Lerena. It didn't seem to be too impactful. He does go back into the ropes, but he doesn't go down, and it didn't look like he was going to actually go down. But yeah, he remains on his feet. But then a count starts, and this is from ringside, but Howard Foster just waves it off. To me, this ended controversially. I know some people may see this differently and go, well, actually, he was wailing away on Lerena. This was over. But Lerena, you know, he was hurt to some extent, but he didn't hit the canvas. He didn't go down. Maybe there's an argument you can say the ropes held him up, but at the point where Daniel Dubois and the bell rung, he wasn't down. And given the bell had rung, he should have been given the opportunity to have that minute to recover. But not only that, maybe the referee should have factored in that one of those punches landed after the bell, and also the broader circumstances of the fight. You had Daniel Dubois down 3 times in round 1. So it was pretty sedate stuff for almost the first 2 minutes. Daniel Dubois launches one of his first major attacks of the round, and Kevin Lerena looks to fire straight back and catches Dubois on the top of the head with the left hook. And Daniel Dubois backs up, and something weird happens with his leg as well, and he goes down. But watching it live, and I've gone back and watched it since on the replay, it looked like it was from a punch. But it became evident something was wrong with Dubois after that, because voluntarily he took a knee 2 times after that first knockdown. So 3 knockdowns officially in the record for that first round for Kevin Lerena scoring against Daniel Dubois. And it looked like Dubois was, you know, gone for all money, that the legs weren't there. Something was seriously wrong. And subsequently after the fight, Shane McGuigan pointed to possible ligament damage. In the fight, the commentators were saying, you know, it was the right angle, something wrong with that leg, that ankle in particular. Hard to know. Obviously something wasn't right. Round 2 happens, and this is where it was very strange. Kevin Lerena, obviously not wanting to overcommit, is still patient, but that gives Daniel Dubois a little bit of time to recover, collect himself, and arguably he did just as much work in the round, and he caught Lerena with a left to the body, left to the head as well, and potentially he could have given him that round. It was pretty low volume stuff, so Kevin Lerena's got himself to blame for not jumping on Daniel Dubois. But I guess given the circumstances that Dubois, despite the leg problems, and, you know, looking a little bit like Bambi on ice, still dangerous, and that showed in that third round where he catches Lerena with a right hand, straight right, drops him to the canvas, and then obviously what we saw towards the end of that round was Dubois looking to finish things. But I do think there was an opportunity for a count to be given and for that minute to be given to Lerena to recover, especially as the bell had gone before a significant punch that backed Lerena to the ropes and then started a count. I just think that that was something that should have happened. But it was waved off by Foster. Do the circumstances of the fight not matter at all? And I can understand that people will go, well, he looked like he was hurt relatively badly, but the bell had gone. Does he not deserve an opportunity to recover? I ask you that. So for me, this fight ended in controversial circumstances. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. Should he have been given that time, given the bell had gone, a punch came in and hurt Lerena after the bell, let alone another punch that came in and sort of grazed him, and then obviously the broader circumstances within the fight, because there will be people saying that Daniel Dubois was helped here by the referee, and the circumstances with his leg, could he have gone more rounds in terms of the rest of the fight? I mean, there's open questions here. Did Howard Foster inadvertently help him, willingly or not, and give him a little bit of a gift here? I mean, I just kind of think Lerena was done a bit dirty here. How about you? And Michael Hunter, after the fight, said, they're not going to feed Dubois to me. Daniel Dubois is probably going to have a bit of a recovery time now. The what next is a little bit unclear. Frank Warren in the post-fight said he was proud of him. I only caught part of it because I was going back and looking at replays. Switch back on, turn the volume up, and the interviews are happening. So I missed some of it. But McGuigan, his trainer, Shane McGuigan, said he thought possible ligament damage, and he said he could be out for some time. But overall, Dubois, when he did get brought back in by the interview, was happy with the performance. And I guess you have to give Daniel Dubois a lot of credit for staying in the fight, for continuing in the fight, given the circumstances, especially with his leg. After that round one, I wasn't sure if he really wanted to continue. His trainer was just saying, just use your jab, keep it simple, try not to extend that back leg out too far, because that's when he was having trouble. And obviously sort of hopping around and looking a little bit like Bambi on ice, he was able to sort of get himself through the situation until he got a result that went his way. Howard Foster helping him there to some extent, in my view. But Daniel Dubois deserves credit for showing the heart and resolve to stay in there. This fight, ahead of it, I said on Twitter, it was careful matchmaking. This was an opponent that they knew that they could beat, should beat, and to be honest, this is one of the best wins on Daniel Dubois' resume. Well, you might go, Kevin Lerena is a former cruiserweight, but given Daniel Dubois and the fodder that he's had for most of his career until he got to Joe Joyce, and now he's fought the likes of Trevor Bryan, you've had Bogdan Dinu and Kevin Lerena, this is one of the best wins on his resume, full stop. So he's got something out of this with the win, facing a southpaw, getting some of those rounds in, experience against the southpaw. The interviewer talked about a potential fight with Alexander Usyk down the road. That's like pipe dreams and fairy stuff in my view. That's not happening, I don't believe. I think people still have questions about Daniel Dubois and how far he can go. He's 25, he's still developing, he's still, a little bit raw, still needs a bit more polishing, he needs some more seasoning. But I do think they'll probably continue to take it somewhat slowly. The matchmaking so far is of a rebuild. This is still a rebuild fight, even though it was a so-called world title fight for the secondary WBA title. I like Daniel Dubois. I think he's a very dangerous puncher. There's more to work on. But there are a few warning signs as well, and I guess, we're just going to have to wait and see. What did you make of it all? The performance, Daniel Dubois' resolve, the referee Howard Foster, was that right? Or did he do Kevin Lerena dirty? I think so. Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.